I always say, love your loved ones. Give them a hug. Let them know you care about them, and don't leave angry. Don't do it. Now, folks, we've done several broadcasts through the years, and we hate police brutality. We do not like when police abuse their powers. Now, we're not anti-police. We love law enforcement officials, those that do their jobs. But when you read stories that you're about to hear that just make you wonder, it's these stories, folks, that, in my opinion, make it dangerous for all the good police out there. A headline that I came across today while doing some research for the broadcast and finding stories that I think you need to know about. It has to do with some police officers that groped a bunch of Georgia students. When I say a bunch, oh my dear God, I'm talking hundreds. As a matter of fact, 900 students. And they were touched in intimate areas, supposedly during warrantless drug searches, according to a lawsuit. It's a Georgia high school, and there's students that were supposedly groped in private areas during a warrantless search conducted by the sheriff's department, infuriating parents and triggering a very big federal lawsuit against the department. A newly filed federal lawsuit claims that police officers groped 900 students, and this is the name of the high school, Worth County High School in Georgia, Worth County High School. Human rights group Southern Center for Human Rights filed the lawsuit on behalf of the students against the Worth County Sheriff over an April 14th incident when 40 officers came into the school with no advance notice, according to KTLA. According to the lawsuit, the officers put the school on lockdown for 4 hours, during which they ordered students out of the classroom and into the hallways. Students were allegedly then forced to stand spread eagle against the lockers while officers conducted intimate searches of male and female students, including touching the breast and genital areas, according to KTLA. The lawsuit mentions one girl in particular using only her initials KA, who was searched by Deputy Brandy Whitton. The lawsuit goes into disturbing detail about how in-depth Whitton's search of KA was. Now, KTLA reports Sheriff Hobby entered KA's classroom and ordered the students to line up in the hallway with their hands on the wall, the suit said. Deputy Whitton took off one of KA's arms, placed it higher up on the wall, and kicked her legs to open them wider. Whitton pulled the front of KA's bra away from her body by the underwire and flipped it up. Whitton also looked down the back and front of KA's dress. Whitton slid her hands from one of KA's ankles up to her pelvic area. Whitton's hands went underneath KA's dress as Whitton felt up KA's leg. Whitton's hands stopped on and cupped KA's vaginal area and buttocks. Whitton then slid her hands down to the other side of the ankle. Whitton was wearing glasses but did not change them before or after her search of KA. Now, folks, I wish to God this was not true. But this is just one affiliate, one TV station. Another TV station, a CNN affiliate, WALB, said that authorities had a list of 13 suspects within the school, but only 3 of those students were in attendance that day, according to KTLA. This is just unbelievable. These searches, folks, and just had the manner and how they did it. In a telephone interview with WALB, Worthy County Sheriff Jeff Hobby said that the warrantless searches were legal because school administrators were present when it occurred. But it wasn't clarified whether or not school administrators present had agreed to the searches. However, interim Worth County Superintendent Lawrence Walters denied that the deputies had the approval to conduct the search from the school administrators, nor does he condone the actions of the deputies. Under no circumstances did we approve touching any students, Walters told WALB. According to Waters, Hobby had told him in March that a search of the school was going to be conducted after spring break. We did not give permission, but they didn't ask for permission. He just said that the sheriff, that he was going to do it after spring week. This should never, ever happen to minors. Now, it's known that obviously high school students have paraphernalia, things that they shouldn't have. But 900 Georgia students touched, fondled. How humiliating. How disgusting. And folks, I smell that there was something majorly wrong. They had no right to do it. I hope every single officer is charged that partaked in that, and the sheriff should be stepped down immediately. That is horrible. And what this does is makes the good cops, you guessed it, look bad. And thanks to Obama not supporting law enforcement officials, it's going to take a little while to gain that trust. You think this story is going to gain the trust of younger people, especially as a result of this happening? This breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. This should never, ever have happened, and I hope they hang him, so to speak. Not literally, folks. Don't take me literal. I'm just meaning convict them to the fullest extent of the law. And maybe they need a little strip search of their own in prison. Fondle them inappropriately. See how they like it. By the way, there's some good news here. There's a couple children that were missing in Coral Springs. The two 12-year-old twin sisters, if you were in Florida, you may have got an Amber Alert. Rakana and Nicolette McClaim were found safe at around midnight at their grandmother's house. Police believe that the twins were at their grandmother's home the entire time. So the Coral Springs police, they say due to outstanding detective work, the missing 12-year-old twins from CS, Coral Springs, are now home safely. Investigation is ongoing. Nothing further. Child trafficking is huge in Florida. It's not just in Florida, but it is big all over the country. I have spoken to law enforcement officials. I mean, they have whole divisions that track down people that traffic kids. Yes, yes, prostitution, everything you could imagine. You got to keep an eye on your kids. It's summer break. My daughter went to the movies yesterday. She's 14 years old. You say, oh, she's a big girl. I just drop them off. I don't worry about them. Well, there's different levels of maturity. Now, my daughter is very smart. She's an honor roll student. All this, but she's still, she's mama's girl. She's daddy's girl. I don't want to say that we've sheltered her to where she's oblivious to things that happen and bad things that happen. She knows what to do. But sometimes you can just be overpowered. Don't put your children in a vicarious situation. She went to meet a friend. So my wife went to the movie theater, dropped her off, and then went from there, had a conversation. It wasn't to leave the movie, and then immediately after, she got picked up right in the lobby when they came out. So they didn't have a chance to go walk into the mall or something like that. You got to protect your kids. You have to think, because there's predators that, God, they'll do things in broad daylight. It's just the world that we live in, folks. Just be mindful of it. I used to think it was, before I had kids, they call them helicopter parents. They would just, overbearing. But, as a parent, you kind of understand it. Now, of course, she's going to have friends. She's going to have, pool parties and birthday parties and things like that. There's just sometimes you can't always 100%, but you don't want to be a security guard. But then again, you got to kind of stake things out a little bit, know the surroundings, and know who the parents are. Take notice, take notes, whatever you have to do, pictures. Just know where they are, where they're going, just in case you have to backtrack. Oh, this has got to be hilarious. It's Friday, so I got to give you something hilarious. You want something just to laugh about? North Korea is slamming Donald Trump for pulling out of all things the Paris Climate Agreement. Maybe you read about it. Well, if you didn't, just days before North Korea fired the land-to-ship missile off its east coast, they fired a couple of them, actually. Pyongyang slammed Donald Trump for his decision to pull out of the climate agreement, called Trump's move a short-sighted and silly decision. North Korea's Minister of Foreign Affairs called global warming one of the gravest challenges humankind is facing today. Forget about how they mistreat their people, starve their people. Grass is a vegetable in North Korea, and also in China, by the way. The human rights atrocities are at an all-time low. They are the worst abusers of people. Massive starvation. There's a reason why they're shorter. And there's a reason why malnutrition and disease is so rampant. They don't care about their people. There's no freedom. What freedom? Forget about it. You bow in the government or you get killed. And the mass prisons that are over there that detain these people, it's so ruthless that the guards beat you even when you're dead. That's how disgusting. And now they're concerned about global deforestation. Please. Which always is kind of a mystery to me. I guess you're trying to do your part. One person does their part, they do their part, etc. But paper or plastic? Now, they say if you can get those cloth shopping bags, they're cloth, that you can reuse them, you can launder them if they get dirty. They say that's the ideal. And they say they're stronger. They cost a little bit, but you get them. And they say paper or plastic. Well, plastic could actually be reused, and paper can be reused if you recycle. But the largest pollutant in our landfills is not plastic, it's not metal or aluminum, because they recycle all that stuff. You know what it is? Okay, this is a quiz. What takes up more landfill space than any other material on the planet? Not plastic. It's paper. You bet. The less paper that you can use, the better. Don't get the paper. Get the plastic. And then throw it out. It's the better move. And you say you already do that already. Well, that's great. Do your part in recycling. And if your city doesn't have something like that, maybe you can be the first to start it. I think it's good if we can renew things. That's a good thing. Repurpose things. That's a good thing, too. Believe in repurposing things instead of actually throwing stuff out. And if you have stuff to throw out, donate it. Goodwill still takes stuff. Salvation Army still brings trucks out to your house. Even if you don't have a Salvation Army in your town, they'll actually go several towns over. And they'll clear out your attic. You have one of those. Your basement, if you have one of those. But whatever room that you might need to declutter. Some of you actually are downsizing. You don't have all the kids at home anymore. No sense of having all that stuff, and deciding to, sell the house, get the cabin, get the RV, the Salvation Army, or find a veteran that actually needs the stuff. I think it's a great idea. Find a veteran, somebody that actually needs the stuff. That's a great way to actually repurpose items. By the way, this half hour brought to you by